So my name's Dennis Murray. I'm a superintendent for the North LPA and I'm in charge of Corby, Kettering, Wellingborough and East Northants. I'm from an Asian background, but I've also got some Irish, English and some Burmese blood in there as well. My first experience of hate crime probably goes back to, and this is the 60s, and it was a family who came to the UK from India, and one of the children was about 7 years old. They were found under the stairs, painted themselves white because they'd had a nervous breakdown and thought that painting themselves white would solve the issues they had. Now the police at that time said there's nothing they can do, it's playground bullying amongst young children. Moving on then to probably the early 90s, there was an incident where a member of the public went to the front door and the gas meter reader was there. It was just after the London bombings, and they said, you know, are you not going to read my meter? And the gas meter reader said, I'm not going to read your meter, you might blow me up. Now, that person didn't report that crime, it only came to the police's attention at a later stage. The other one was in relation to a lady called Dawn. She was at home when she was attacked by neighbours. They broke into her house, they beat her up, and on the way out they set fire to her gas meter. Her brothers and family turned up to help her, and the police arrived and they made arrests of the family that were involved as the victim. That case went to court, all the charges were dropped, the other offenders were convicted of racially aggravated offences, but you can imagine the trust and confidence in the police service at that time. But all of those incidents involved the police not being trusted because of the responses that was perceived that those families got. Now, the commonality with all of those is that every single one of those people were members of my family. So you could imagine how difficult it was when I said I wanted to join the police. My mother told me that she would disown me if I joined the police, but I was absolutely adamant that I was going to do that. It was the right thing for me. I've never regretted that decision. It's allowed me to be able to influence policy and change things from the inside. And that's why I spent 5 years as a hate crimes officer, because I knew that I was making a real impact on the things that worry the minority communities the most when they're subject to hate crime. And it's a common thing that we see amongst minority groups, that the parents have a big influence on the children joining the police service or working for organisations that want to tackle hate crime. So that's why it's really important to me. That's why I think it's really important that we build trust and confidence with the communities around reporting hate crime and showing them that it's serious and that we will tackle it with them to work against wiping out hate crime altogether. I was born here, but we were one of 3 black families or BAME families in Corby, so we kind of stood out anyway. And actually the idea was to try and keep a low profile and blend in and not make a fuss. Clearly the demographics of Northamptonshire have changed now, but how it made me feel was that you felt different. Right from the off you felt different, and every day you felt different. So that's how it made me feel. I was brought up with parents who were suspicious about the police, didn't feel that they got the support that they needed from the police. But you look at it now, well, I'm 50 now, so 50 years later. My brother's a security manager, my other brother's a dog section officer, my nephew's a prison officer in the prison service, my sister-in-law's a PCSO. So all of those things, you know, we've changed the way that the family feel. And that all starts from the fact that somebody had to take that first step. If I go to the airport, I usually always get stopped. When I came through Harwich Port with my son, who is white, there was information that somebody from a Muslim background had kidnapped their son in Holland. I was detained, thrown to the floor. I had to point out I was a police officer. I got no apology, I didn't get dusted down, and the go wisely and all of the stop and search stuff didn't apply. That was 10 years ago, so not you know, many years ago. I've been to the doctor's surgery where they've come out and looked around the room several times and then come out and called out Dennis Murray because I didn't look like someone who would be called Dennis Murray. So it's little bits like that I've experienced personally. I'm quite a strong character, so I've never really had something, you know, blatant and in your face. But actually, as a police officer, I've had racial abuse over the course of 28, 29 years. I think the way to change this is to get on the inside and influence policy and how we set things up, how we deliver our services. And that's why I've been really keen to engage minority communities and all communities to actually be part and parcel of this. That's why I think that representation is really important in the force, to make sure that we are represented by all of our communities. Because actually when we go to engage with the communities that are suffering from hate crime, actually they want to be able to have the confidence that they can go and report it and somebody will understand.